Hello, Namaste. Welcome to Brisbane Talks with Deepak Rawat, the podcast where we dive into unique journeys of people who have moved to Australia, whether for work, study, love, or adventure. Each episode explores the challenges, surprise, and life lessons that comes with adjusting in a new country. So let's get started. Welcome, Dileep. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Deepak.
That's good. So, Dileep, tell me something about your journey. Where are you from, and when did you decide to come to Australia?
So I'm from Kerala. I did my studies till my plus two in Kerala, and then went for my engineering in Coimbatore. Coimbatore, I did my electronics and communication. The course was for 4 years. Towards the end of my course, that is when I had a plan of coming and studying somewhere abroad.
Yeah, and this was year
This was in 2004.
2004. You thought to come to
Yeah, so initially I thought I will work for 2 years and then do studies. When it came to studies, then we thought I had a friend and we both had that mindset of going abroad.
Yeah.
But for some reason that didn't happen.
Was there any country was in your mind that you want to go to? You always thought of coming to Australia or any
No,
other
we knew about UK and US. US was not in my radar at that point of time. UK was, but later on through movies and all, I got to know about Australia, and then I thought I will give it a try for Australia. And I even thought of preparing for the IELTS. I just started the journey, but for some reasons I stopped there and thought I'll pursue my MBA.
Okay.
And then after my marriage, that is when the process of coming to Australia happened.
Okay. So how did you come as a student, or did you apply for a job?
So by the time this thought came for studies was in 2006. I got married in 2011, and then in 16, that is when one of my friend thought of moving to Australia.
Okay.
So that triggered me again of my old memories that I also wanted to come to Australia.
Okay.
So in 2016, I actually started applying for.
And was it for study or no?
No, it was a skilled migration.
Migration.
So my friend did a skill migration. So we were all from the IT background, working in an IT company.
Yeah.
So we did a skill migration going through ACS for IT professionals, and then IELTS. That is how we moved our application process for coming to Australia.
And how much time that process took, and how much it costed you?
So the whole process took around 1 year because my wife was pregnant during that time.
Okay.
And so initial couple of months I was preparing for IELTS, and then I realized that even if I get the highest score in IELTS, I won't be able to score the above 60. I will just reach 60, which is just eligible at that point of time in 2017.
Correct.
But to get calls, invites, that time you need to have at least 65 to 70 points.
That's correct. And you were applying as a family?
Yeah, we were applying for a family
visa.
So then my wife also is from IT background.
Okay.
So then we changed our plan that she will apply as a primary applicant and I as a secondary. And then she, just after her delivery, then she prepared for IELTS and gave the exam, and we could manage to get 70 points.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
That is when we got the invite.
Okay. And this was in year 2018?
Yeah, 2017.
17. Okay.
Yep.
So when did you move to Australia then?
In 2018, I moved. So 2018 beginning, we got our invite.
Okay.
And then towards the end, October 2018, that is when we moved to Australia.
Okay. And where did you move to? Did you move to Brisbane?
No, I moved. So my wife, being from IT background, she was working with Cognizant.
Okay.
She approached the company that whether they have any projects to have a overseas assignment. I had resigned from my job.
Okay.
And then she, luckily, after some months of wait, we could find a project, and then the company assigned us to come here. So that was a smooth transition.
Yeah.
Though it took some time. I had resigned 5 to 6 months I had spent in India. But that was like I could manage to get some job later on.
And your whole process was how much money you spent for the file and visa and
So,
agents or whatever?
so we approached an agent to process our application. At that point of time, there were people who were doing on their own also, but we approached. It costed around 40,000 Indian rupees.
Indian rupees, okay.
Yeah. And then for the visa application, it was around $7,200 for the whole family.
For the whole family.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So you moved to Sydney. So your wife already got a job when she moved in. Did you know anybody in Sydney? Or
No, so my friend, which inspired me to come to Australia, he was in Melbourne.
Okay.
And along with me, one of my cousin also applied. He got a project in Brisbane, and we got a project in Sydney.
So
we were
all different cities.
All three cities.
Okay.
So Sydney, we were not having any contacts at all.
Okay.
After moving into Sydney, then we made friends, and they became sort of like a family.
So how did you find the like house or place for rent, or was it provided by the company or something?
So company was ready to give accommodation for the hotel for a month, but since we were a small family, like kids were there, we didn't want a hotel. We just wanted to stay somewhere so that we feel like a home sort of.
Okay.
So what we did was there is service apartments available in Australia. So we approached one of them through the forums which we see Indians in Sydney and all in Facebook. So we approached there, posted our comment, and somebody told that they have some room, and then that is how we got. So the first one we went, if people know about Sydney, they might be knowing about Parramatta. That is where we landed first.
Okay.
And for some reason, it was not a nice home. Then we had to move to Epping. And then we ended up staying in Epping for though when we were coming from India, we were not knowing about Epping. It's just that Parramatta is what we knew about it. But Epping found to be a very, very nice suburb, and the schools were good. There was an Indian community, and there is a Malayali community also.
That's great.
So that made us like a second home. Yeah. So we stayed.
And your family, you said, so you said your wife was pregnant, so you had kids with you when you came here?
Yeah.
And
So
how many kids you have?
Yeah, so I have two kids. Okay. My elder one was 5 years old
at that time.
At that point of time, okay. Yeah, and my younger one was 1.5 years old.
Okay.
So we were comparatively younger family at that point of time.
When you get your permanent resident, like because that's the visa, did they get the permanent resident status as well? Together, so as a family, you get
as a family we were applying. We got a skilled migration, so we applied for both 189 and 190.
Okay.
189 being the open PR, where you can be anywhere in Australia, and 190 was for the state nomination. Correct. So 189 is what we applied. We got both. So 189 is what we chose so that we can go to any city in Australia.
Okay. So in terms of employment, are you saying your wife got the job? How about you? Did you find it easier?
So the first job, it is always a difficult task within Australia or any country you move in. You don't have any contacts, so you need to build that relationship.
Correct.
So I was updating till that point of time. LinkedIn was just a tool which I just update my work experience, but never approached any recruiters. But once I moved here, then I got to know that networking is very important.
That's true.
And then through a referral, not through LinkedIn, but a referral which I met in Epping, I got a hold of one job. That was my first job with Tech Mahindra.
Okay. And how did you find the cost of living, everything? Because you worked in India and you lived for a very long time. So when you came here, what was the cost of living in your experience compared to India?
Yeah, initially we all have that tendency to convert when you go to the supermarket and buy something. So you just convert, you just multiply 50, and then you see that the things are very expensive.
Yeah.
And initial couple of months you try to get, you would have some money from India, but that will just vanish into thin air. Yeah. But since my wife was having job, we could manage for some time, and then in 3-4 months time, I could get a job, and then we were a bit of in a good position.
Yeah. So apart from employment, was there any cultural adjustment you guys have to find? As you said, you didn't know anyone in Sydney. Was there a cultural shock to see how these people live up here compared to India?
So here, cultural shock as such, like we coming from language was not a barrier for us, but the local usages what Australians generally have, that took some time to understand.
The slang is
slangs
different.
And all,
Yes,
like
yes.
for afternoon they say avo.
Yes.
So that is something which you it takes some time to pick.
Yeah.
And then generally you pick it up when you interact with the local community. If you are coming from India, you try to find friends from the Indian community or Malayali community. For me as a Keralite, I would say anybody that you should interact with the locals.
Of
Try
course,
to
of
be
course.
more open-minded.
Correct. So that's how you learn their language,
Language, and then you adjust to the community.
community as well. Okay. So you how long you stayed in Sydney then, because you're in Brisbane now?
So 2018 we came towards the end October, and till 2021 end December we were in Sydney. So that was close to 3 years.
And why did you decide to come to
So
Brisbane then?
as I said, my cousin was there in Brisbane. That was the major factor to move to Brisbane.
Okay.
Because though we got some couple of friends there, we were very close back in Pune. We together applied for this visa. So we wanted to be together. Our kids were also very connected. So that was one of the reason, and the second reason being Sydney, very expensive city.
That is correct.
We wanted to move to a city where we can afford to buy a house.
And when did you move to Brisbane then?
And then 2021 December we moved. So at that point of time, just after COVID, it was very difficult to enter Brisbane, being it was locked for outsiders. Plus, finding an accommodation was very difficult. But the best part is that you apply through domain or real estate, and then you get virtual tours at that point of time to see the house. So we just blindly got one. Luckily, turned out to be a very good one.
Place. That's good.
It was a
So
town.
the job, did you guys got the transfer, or what happened with your
So during 2020, I had some. I was made redundant just after COVID. So towards the end of 2020, 3-4 months, I was not having a job. Then I got another job in 2021. I worked there for 6 months, and then I got a call from the recruiter. There is an opportunity with Bank of Queensland.
Okay.
So
in Brisbane.
In Sydney.
In Sydney. Okay.
So they were open to Bank of Queensland's had offices in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane.
Yes.
So we had that opportunity to move.
Take a transfer to.
So for me, it was seamless. And then my wife also moved out of Cognizant by that time. And then their company, the organization she was working, they were okay for her to do a full-time remote working. So that is how we moved.
That's good.
To Brisbane.
So just have a little comparison, because Sydney, Brisbane, India, they're all different places. So how do you rate each of the places? Now you lived here in Brisbane, in Sydney, and back home in India. What differences you see overall in?
So if people knew about Mumbai, Pune, I would say Sydney is like more of Mumbai. It's you cannot compare the exact traffic as such,
but more fast and longer days, and
and moreover the public transport is much better in Sydney.
That's good.
It's much more developed city, I would say. Brisbane, when we came, it was like towards 6-7 o'clock, everything is silent, shut down. But it is very calm and quiet. Climate-wise, its weather is very good in Brisbane. So we coming from a tropical area, we would prefer to have. So initially, when we came to Australia, I would say Sydney was cold weather for us. But when we moved to Brisbane, we are feeling better, especially in winters.
Okay. So tell me something about your long-term plan. So now you lived here and you always wanted to come here. Do you have any plans to go back to India permanently, or you just
at this stage I would prefer to stay? I just had I travel back to India. I stayed there for 2 months and came with my parents. Since India has got their own its own potentials plus pros and cons. What I see is that too much of traffic and crowd. Population is increasing. So one is the most populous country, and you can see that everywhere. And when you come from a place where it is least populated, you can save a lot of time traveling and from the work or school. So those things I'm tending towards to stay back in Brisbane.
Good. That's good. So lastly, just want to know that, as you said, you came on work visa and this, and we have many people came to the show who came on student visa. So is there any advice from you to all, if anybody wants to come, which pathway would you prefer? I know you came through that. Would you think if you would have came a bit younger, that would be the better way to come to Australia, or wait in India, work for few years,
I
come
would
that
say,
way?
like, if I always in between I have regretted that I should have come for my studies.
A bit early,
I
yes.
would say say after your +2, that is the best time. You start your bachelor's from Australia. That would be a different experience altogether.
Correct. You learn the language
Yeah,
and all
the
those.
culture,
Yes,
and
yeah.
the way you learn things here also it's different.
Correct.
Because you don't tend to just learn for the exams and then write it and finish it up.
Yeah.
Here it is more of a research, and then you study, you get the
Practical
overall
practical knowledge
is
more.
more.
Yes, that's correct.
So if you come after, like, for masters and all, then you will have to unlearn a lot of things to prepare well for the exams.
Correct.
Or to prepare well for your profession. But if you come early, then it is much more easier, I would say.
To a younger age.
Yeah, at a younger age.
So Dileep, with this podcast, we try to say thanks to those people who has helped us during our journey. So is there anyone who you want to thank through this platform? You can do that, please.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I want to say thank you to the Almighty for giving me the chance to have that desire in myself to think about going abroad and getting a better opportunity when I came here. Along with that, my parents, they gave me enough confidence for me to come. Especially my in-laws also.
Yeah.
They were supportive very much in this journey.
Yeah.
My sister, she is also very supportive. She works in Dubai, and she knows that when you go from out of your home country,
Comfort zone, yes.
comfort
It's
zone,
always
yeah,
hard,
it's
yes.
always better. And my previous managers and I would say the people who, when I came here, they all helped me out
Supported
to become
you.
a family. And above all, I would say thanks to Jomo also, my wife.
Yes, of course.
She, while going through that process, she gone through a lot of sleepless nights to
Yes.
go through a lot of studies too, so that she gets a project in time and that we could have a safe sail
Better
to
life.
Australia.
Of course.
So yeah, that's our
That's
people.
very
Thank you so
nice.
much, Deepak, for
No,
having
thank
me.
you, Dileep. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in for today's episode. We hope today's stories have inspired you, whether you are planning to move or simply curious about what it's really like to start fresh in new country. Thank you. Do not forget to subscribe, share, and like Brisbane Talks.